Hey guys, welcome to another commentary done by FireXFred. This is the third match in a best of 3 between MouzStrelok as our green Terran player up here on the top of Scrap Station against DuckloadRa aka White Raw as our red Protoss here. In the right-ish part of Scrap Station. I don't really know what to call it. I call this the top, but then I call this the right. Just slightly weird, but it's pretty accurate actually. So here on Scrap Station, with this beautiful, beautiful song playing for us, we see that the rush distance is quite long, which leads to a lot of players trying to get away with that really fast expansion. And it's pretty easy to hold off. When you think about it, this little ramp here actually defends both your main and your natural, so long as these rocks are still alive, these destructible debris. And you can really kind of get away with getting a pretty quick expansion. On the other hand, some people like to take advantage of that sort of metagaming and, cheese you on this map, as there is quite a large ramp, and if you do go for some sort of very quick expansion, you're pretty vulnerable to a lot of cheeses. So we'll just have to see what our players are going to try and do. We do see this refinery going down for MouzStrelok, so it's not going to be some sort of unreasonably fast barracks, like a couple Marines and expand. But he could still expand relatively quickly. And we do see this assimilator going down and this gateway for DuckloadRa. This gateway is actually rallied over here. I'm not sure if he's going to keep that rally point or if that's just out of habit. Yeah, he does change that up. We do see that first Marine and the orbital command coming down right now. That is absolutely standard play, making sure not to get supply blocked, and we do see that cybernetic score also going down at a very, very standard time. Right now we're looking to see if that second gas is going to go down. It is about the time when Protoss players like to get their second gas if they're not going to do some sort of early expand. There are a couple builds that you don't get a second gas, but that's mostly against Zerg, and you really, really want to get those sentries out against Terran. So let's see what DuckloadRa has in mind, actually. See, he starts that the warp gate research right away, which is very standard, and a tech lab coming down for MouzStrelok after getting 2 Marines. So he is yet again going to get these concussive shells and probably expand off of it. That is a very safe way to expand against Protoss, and we've seen him do it all 3 games, in fact. Well, the first game he kind of proxied the concussive shells and did that whole thing, but pretty much the same thing. This Stalker is going to come out and finally chase this SCV out of the base, and we do see that command center is going down for MouzStrelok. So exactly as I thought, and the second gas goes down as well as the robo facility. I'm curious to see if Strelok actually saw that. He doesn't see either of those things. Those would have been that would have been very good information for him to see, but he did not see it. Not a big deal. He is going to expand and then probably add on a couple more barracks and just try and play it safe for a little while as he lets that expansion kick in. Meanwhile, DuckloadRa, not quite sure what he's going to do with this robotics facility just quite yet. He is getting another gateway though, so he's going to be able to start pumping out some units relatively quickly, and we see a warp prism actually coming into play. Not something we see a lot, but DuckloadRa is definitely one of the players that can have the multitasking to really be able to deal with something like that. And for MouzStrelok, we see 2 more barracks going down as well as the stim pack upgrade. So he's playing very, very standard, pretty much exactly as he played the last game. And DuckloadRa, on the other hand, is definitely not playing the way he did last game. He is going to load up these units right now, taking advantage of this very, very short air distance here, as we see going back and forth a little bit dizzily. Twilight Counts are coming down for DuckloadRa also, so I think I know this build that he's going to do. I've seen him do this a couple of times. He is going to harass a little bit with these units, and he gets a couple of kills off with these Stalkers and the Zealot, and he's going to be able to load up and probably get out of dodge. Just get out of there without dying to these Marines. He does manage to get away just safely, and he gets some very vital scouting information as well. I believe we're going to see actually a Twilight Council, no, not a Twilight Council, a High Templar. What are they? What is that building called? A Templar Archives, that is what it's called. I believe we might see that coming down. I've seen DuckloadRa kind of do this sort of build where he uses this nice harassment. Oh, he's got to be careful. Stim's about to finish, and with Stim, he will be able to run and take out that Warp Prism. But I'm sure Duckload knows those timings fairly well, and he will know that it's going to start being very dangerous to actually try and do that. And we do see that Templar Archives coming down, as well as an expansion. So I've seen Duckload do this a couple times, like I said, just using this Warp Prism to harass quite a bit and incessantly harass so that Strelok or whoever he is fighting has to stay actually in their base and defend against anything like this. And those Marines just him up and they're going to be able to... oh my goodness, that is so close. I think with a tiny bit better micro, Strelok could have been able to take that out. Down to 26 life, which is so low. And now that is going to trigger Strelok to push out. He might want to take out these rocks. It looks like that is what he's going to do as a factory comes down. Still hasn't even moved out this orbital command. He is just using it to try and build probes, though he is currently supply blocked. Starport coming down, and we do see that Psionic Storm being researched now for DuckloadRa. But remember, with this Warp Prism here, he is really forcing Strelok to at least keep a couple of units back home, and that's exactly what he wants to do. He has a couple of Mortals at his front, as well as a couple of High Templars, which are going to be able to do very well against any sort of pushes. Strelok finally pushes out with that command center as a drop comes in from DuckloadRa. His multitasking is just so good, and those Marines moving up for the kill, so they do take that all out. But again, DuckloadRa got a little bit of damage off on those SCVs, but more importantly, he is forcing Strelok to actually stay in his base. So he was able to very quickly expand and tech up to High Templar, which is something that if your opponent is pressuring you, you absolutely cannot do. So I love this sort of play coming in from DuckloadRa, using that Warp Prism to great effect to accomplish what he needs to be accomplishing. So now he is on 2 bases, pretty well saturated 2 bases, and he has the tech that he wants, and he is very safe from anything that's coming in. In fact, he could push out at some point, and Strelok knows that, so he is getting 2 bunkers at the bottom of his ramp, I should say. And we are seeing a bunch of oh my goodness, that is not even a word that I was trying to make up to say. We see a bunch of switching on all of these buildings coming down for these add-ons. And we do see a couple of medevacs being pumped out of this reactor at Starport, and we do see a drop coming in. Looks like it is a drop anyway. Pylon coming down out here, another pylon over here, giving him some good vision, giving DuckloadRa some great vision. One Marine coming to take this Zelnaga tower, which is very nice to have. A couple of High Templars being loaded into this Warp Prism, and we're going to see if they get some nice hits off on all of these SCVs. See how quick MouzStrelok's reaction time is. He does see that he must have, oh my goodness, so many kills on these High Templar. 5 kills for that one, 5 kills for that one, and is he going to get out? He does manage to get out. He leaves that Zealot behind, sacrifices the Zealot, and does get out in time. Kydarian Amulet just about to be completed as Charge is also going down. This Ghost Academy, obviously because Strelok scanned and saw this Templar Archives, and now another drop coming in from DuckloadRa, and is he going to get as many kills as he did last time? Oh my goodness, not very many kills, but a ton of damage on all of those units, and these units are going to have to be forced to morph into an Archon, as that Warp Prism was taken out by this Viking, which was back there. Very smart thinking by Strelok to try and take out that Warp Prism harass. And now we see a drop coming in from MouzStrelok over here. These medevacs loaded up with quite a few Marauders and Marines, and let's see Duckload's reaction time. He's so quick on that reaction time, and that one, just a couple of Zealots and a High Templar are going to be able to at least slow down this attack for more units to be able to come in. One Templar does go down, but not before getting Alpha Storm. With another Zealot coming down, and I don't know, this is looking pretty scary for DuckloadRa. These units are just able to do so much damage. Where is his army? It's not coming back, and now it's finally going to be able to come back, and it's going to just, and the medevac actually goes down from that High Templar feedback. So Those units are completely cleaned up as we see an Archon being warped in, and meanwhile another little push coming in over here. A couple of his units over here on this side of the map, making sure that no drops were coming in. Another warp prism being warped in.